is a Cosmic Octave original podcast.
Me and Jake running down the street with a handful of comic books, kicking ass and banging chicks and drinking booze
No, not
and
me.
smoking
Not
weed.
me. I'm married.
Yeah, well,
I'm married.
Jake.
Can't do that.
Yeah. Off panel, off topic with Jake and Tyler.
Buddy, episode, what is it? 75, 6?
190, 12.
Yeah, something like that. It's going to be a big episode today. We got a lot to talk about. We're going to talk about James Gunn and everything going on
The
with
Snyderverse idiots have raised their voices again.
Snyderverse is imploding. It's
fine,
horrible,
but you've heard about the whole...
I mean, isn't that kind of the point of James Gunn? Is he gets to come in and do that?
Who the hell is that? What the hell?
Turn it down a notch.
Where'd you come from?
Take 10 to 20% off there.
I'm sorry.
What is this, a sale?
You're at a 7. We need you at a 3.
This is an audio sale, and you need to take 20% off.
I hate you
Anyway,
both so
that's
much.
Andrew Gomez. Welcome to the show, Andrew.
Hi.
Gomez. I call him Gomez.
Whatever.
Making me look bad.
Yeah.
It's not hard.
You know, I intentionally did not introduce him just so I could do that bit of, oh, who's this? Like, who's this other voice?
Doesn't
I'm
it
glad
kind
I
of ruin
kinda-
it when you explain the joke?
Yeah.
Okay.
This is,
We do that a lot, though.
You are the first returning guest.
Mm.
Luke's been on the show. Grace has been
We
on the
will
show.
try
but
to-
you have been on the show twice.
we
Because
will-
he was here for Eternals.
Yeah.
Hasn't Grace been on twice? Or was she on
She was on
Tinfoil
our-
Radio?
She was she was helping us with a scripted podcast, which I'll talk about at the end of the
Okay.
show. Wink.
Nice plug.
Future plug.
Yeah.
Yeah, can we talk about my album, too? If we're plugging
If you want,
stuff?
yeah, we can. God, I want to support you.
Yeah.
Release a single already, you
Do you want
dipshit.
to drop his Patreon link, too?
He doesn't have a
Oh,
Patreon.
Patreon.
But you can go to tpublic.com/
You're supposed to do this at the end.
The Amazing Bird.
Yeah, we'll do that later.
I think you're
Not the Amazing T-Bird, the Amazing Bird,
Because you
because
fucked it
I
up.
fucked up the URL. So there
I
you
just
go.
realized that the other day when I put on up the new design. Okay,
Well, first of all, let's do something a little different.
let's do it.
Let's all play a little game of show
Pray?
and tell.
Say
You
something
know.
worth it. 3 things we're thankful for. Is that okay?
It's Christmas season, right?
My beard is pretty sweet.
Let's be thankful. No. Do you want to do things a little bit differently and just go, or do you want to just go straight into the news?
It's up to you, man.
Because I thought maybe we could do.
I'm along for the ride.
You know what? You're right. Let's just start with the news. Because I forgot to mention the long box is something we do at the end of the show, where we talk about something that we might not usually talk about, like a TV show, a book you're reading,
Comic books.
whatever. So think about that for the end of the show.
Maybe you bought some really nice sheets at Kmart that you want to talk about.
And you could cheat and use a movie that we watched.
These were like 1,600 count. It's like sleeping on air.
Because I wanted to talk about that movie. So if you want to cheat and use
I mean,
that-
I got nothing. I've lived.
well, then we'll talk about teaser for later. We're talking about Bullet Train because
Oh.
I watched it.
Yeah, I guess we did watch both.
okay.
I watched it for a second time. He watched it for his first time. last
Okay,
night.
and?
I fucking love that movie.
Really?
It's so good.
I thought it was really
So you're not okay with the whitewashing?
Oh, Jesus.
That's the only thing I read about it when it
God,
came out.
you-
Was people were all pissed off about that.
Why,
and
you
I don't
see-
know
know.
what?
It's a Russian dude carrying a samurai sword. Yeah, it's weird, but like, it's
Yeah, the White Death. That's the point. I don't know. I haven't read the book.
That's
didn't-
why I'm asking.
We're gonna get into the news.
It
first.
reminds me
let's
of
do
like
it. We're going to the news.
Okay. It's like a Michael Bay. It's like a Transformers film. You don't watch it for the cinematic value.
We got so far off track with just two of us. Now we got a third voice. It's just gonna get way off track.
I'm just gonna listen.
I'm just here.
I'm
but-
listening right now, and then when we get
So,
into the next thing, I'll
Let's-
jump
the
in.
first thing I want to talk about.
Okay.
So it looks like Patty Jenkins, Gal Gadot, that
I thought it was Gal Gadot.
whatever her
No,
name
the T
is.
is silent. I don't know.
Huh.
Whatever. I'm sorry, that's not nice. I should get her name. I'm pretty sure it's Gal Gadot.
I would agree with that.
Anyway, so her and Patty Jenkins' Wonder Woman 3 has been canceled.
Is it official?
Yeah.
DC is not moving forward with the third Gal Gadot Patty Jenkins movie, going in a new direction. And there's so many rumors that have
Can
come out
I
of this.
say what I read, which was as it is in its current form, it is not moving forward.
And I also
to
heard
me,
that Patty
that
Jenkins
says-
was offered and she turned it down.
Okay, so maybe she's moving on. Gal Gadot isn't necessarily.
So it
okay.
comes from the. I'm helping you out
Thanks,
because I'm
man.
pulling.
No, I was gonna let because you got.
From the Hollywood Reporter,
Yeah.
that's caused this whole stir. This is what they say. Sources say that Jenkins recently submitted her treatment, co-written with Jeff Johns, which is also someone she co-wrote the second one with. As a lot of people didn't like that because you think about it, she kind of raped someone in that movie. Wonder Woman does.
I mean, if you look at the other side of it,
Because that's a different person.
Yeah.
That is, he's
Chris
just
Pine's
taking over
character
their
took-
body.
yeah.
What Why are you looking at me like
I
that?
don't know. I just didn't really. The second one
No,
was.
if you go back,
I liked it a lot more when I watched it, but since then
if you
I've
go
been
back
like,
and you
man,
watch
it's not
like
very good.
especially the like weird Middle Eastern subplot that was in that movie, and
It was a lot weaker than the first one.
the first one was great.
Yeah.
Gunn and Peter Safran, as well as Warner Brothers Pictures co-chairs and co-CEOs Michael DeLuca and Pamela Abdy, broke the news to the filmmaker, telling her the project, as it stood, did not fit with the new but still unfolding plans. Jenkins directed and co-wrote the previous 2 movies, and we all know that. No decision has been made about the next steps. So no news on what they're going to do. We don't know if Gal Gadot's coming back. We don't know if Patty Jenkins is completely done. I will say, I do think Hollywood is too harsh on female directors. She had one fuck up, and that was Wonder Woman 1984, and she lost her Star Wars movie. It
wasn't that bad.
And she lost this movie.
But it performed poorly, didn't it?
Yeah.
Well, it got released during the pandemic.
Objectively, it's kind of a bad movie.
I think it did okay.
Objectively, it's kind of bad.
Its box office was going to be shit because it released on HBO Max and in theaters.
Yes.
So, like, I feel like that was factored in of like, okay, you can't really look at but yeah, anyway.
That sucks.
That does suck.
Well, here's more from the
Hopefully,
Hollywood.
maybe she meets with James Gunn and he goes, "Hey, this is what I was thinking instead," and she goes, "I love that idea."
Yeah.
That's my.
What I'm hearing is what she was doing was not going to work what they wanted.
Being an optimist,
interested.
right? Being an optimist. This is what I feel like the news means. That she had a story in place that took Wonder Woman and did something, took her along some sort of journey that they looked at and goes, you know what? This is our plan moving forward with the DCU, and this story doesn't fit in there. Now, that's not to say we don't like Patty and we don't like Gal and we don't want them. What it is to say is we need to meet with them and go, this is our plan for the DCU. We would love to have you, create something for Wonder Woman that fits in with that. But if not, we're going to move in another direction.
I think that's kind of where they're at, though.
That's what I'd like to think.
Yeah. And
but it could ultimately turn out to be nothing.
Damn it, Millie. Sorry. We're dog sitting, and she likes to bark.
I didn't ask you to dog sit. Why are you
Why am I sitting on this dog? I don't know.
Stop it. Knock it off. He doesn't knock it.
What does the headline say? Sorry.
No, but there's just more. This Hollywood Reporter article was kind of the catalyst for the discussion about it because this is the first time anybody had known about it. And now there's a lot of speculation because Gunn is supposedly meeting with David Zaslav this week as this goes live. So I don't, and that's going to be setting up the 10-year plan or whatever. I don't know. I honestly think it'd be wiser if James Gunn, and I think that's what they're going to do, I think if James Gunn just sat down and said, let's just blow it up and start over. Because DC Comics does it all the fucking time.
Yeah. That's been my only gripe, just from like a cinematic point with DC, is like when they do these weird soft reboots, it's just not enough to erase the bad stuff from what we're starting over from. So they just like pick and choose of we don't like this anymore. We're going to get rid of that, but we're going to keep this. And then like it doesn't work because it doesn't feel cohesive.
Yeah. The soft reboots that they've attempted so far are just not working for a great reason, which is how are audiences who aren't used to comic books and comic book continuity, how are they supposed to get behind these characters when they're not sure who's going to be playing them in the next movie? Like, if you're watching a movie, now, we know that Jason Momoa, they like him. They're going to keep him around. So when you see Jason Momoa, you can get behind him. But what about the other characters?
But that feels weird to me to, like, keep one thing and then not keep another.
Exactly, yeah. We always said, like, going along with what you're saying, which, again, is just not really conducive to building an audience, but going along with what you said, we've always talked about how we were actually okay if they kind of had, like, a DCU and then like an Elseworlds kind of side.
That's what the Batman is, and that's what Joker is. Yeah.
Right.
They've already done it.
And basically like so some of the movies don't necessarily go with the continuity. They're just meant to be standalone on their own.
And they do it in comic books all the time.
And we're fine with that, but then they're still trying to like, are they trying to make, Matt Reeves Batman, are they going to try and make him part of the DCU? Yeah. Or, exactly.
This is the problem when you do any sort of long-form story.
I liked Batfleck.
This is what happens when you...
I loved him.
This is what happens when you... Well, to me, the Snyderverse was exactly what happens when you try to do long-form storytelling in a short amount of time. and not really thinking about what's
They
going
didn't
ahead.
think it through
but
at all.
But then the thing that gets me about the 10-year plan and the thing that gets me with MCU is like how there's got to be an end point. And it won't. The MCU is going to go on forever. Comic books are going to go on forever. And that's the problem.
And they can always reboot it with new actors.
And that's the problem is you have long form continuity where eventually you just retcon shit because that's what they do in the comics because they're like, well, I didn't bother reading their run. I don't really care about their run. My run is more important. So we're gonna retcon. So like that worries me that we're gonna see stuff like that with the MCU and the DCU going forward. But that doesn't mean I'm not excited. But I mean, that doesn't mean I don't want to see these DC movies.
Marvel is at least intentional. Like there is always a plan. Like like some of their stuff, or they fix their loose ends fairly well.
Yeah.
Comparatively so.
And another thing I'm trying to figure out is why. Okay, so they cancel Batgirl, and
as it was in post production.
Yeah, this is obviously.
Didn't you read that they were meeting with the filmmakers? That James Gunn was meeting with them to maybe possibly talk about actually releasing it,
they
or no?
can't release that movie.
Why?
Because they took it as a tax loss. So because of that, they cannot release it and make any profit off of it at all. They can release it for free, but that's it. And even then, they can't monetize it on YouTube.
Fuck.
I still don't understand why we
jackasses.
Yeah.
I still don't understand why we cut it. And I also still want to know if The Rock really did strong arm DC into bringing Henry Cavill back.
He has the same representation as they have the same agent.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's wild.
Yeah, so they know each other.
They're friends.
Yeah.
Well, right.
Right.
But I just meant like from some of the articles I read, it talked about how like The Rock was a big part of why Warner Brothers parted ways with their last guy before they brought in Gunn. Like The Rock went above his head because he didn't want to bring Cavill back, and because he wanted to start fresh. And then The Rock wanted Cavill back.
What I'm trying to think is because DC, they've worked themselves in such a corner so much about this stuff. Because you still have Shazam coming out in March
with the same actor and continuity,
which is continuing,
which is ostensibly going to lead into which Black Adam
Who knows
2
what we're
is
doing?
going to.
There's not going to be a Black
ostensibly.
Adam. We'll
there's-
get to that. There's not going to be a Black
ostensibly, it's supposed to have been leading towards a clash between. But then, The Rock went over the head of everybody and said, "No, I want to fight Superman." It's like, you fucking idiot. It's fucking Black Adam is part of Shazam.
We'll get.
They're treating the
Gallery.
We'll talk about The Rock and the Black.
They're treating
and,
it like WrestleMania. That's what The Rock is doing.
And then what about Peacemaker and all that stuff?
And then there's Blue Beetle that's coming out. in
Oh
August.
yeah, which is
but that's what I'm saying. This is what confuses me. So their excuse was it was really bad, the Batgirl movie. So they didn't want to release whatever.
So
it
was
Blue-
Catwoman
and
with
Blue
Halle
Beetle-
Berry.
Keep in mind, made it for a smaller budget, intentionally made on a smaller budget for a smaller streaming platform. It's not intended to go a wide release. Then you have Blue Beetle, that was also supposed to be an HBO Max original and only be on that. That gets bumped up to being a theatrical release because Zaslav wants to make. He's like, if we're gonna make superhero movies, we're putting them in theaters. This is kind of his mentality. That's coming out in August.
Right.
James Gunn shared a poster of it, so he's still behind it. Is that gonna come into play? Also, despite everything Ezra Miller has done to completely derail that movie, they are committed to releasing that fucking movie.
They've already started doing marketing.
And I'm telling you, it is because that is their reset button. They have to release that movie. And quite frankly, I think it's
Because
and I agree. Here's my answer to your why, because of money, obviously. But but that's another thing that drives me insane.
Why is that the money
You don't need that to narratively fix your problems.
No,
because that
but they
actor,
think it does.
because that person is a reprehensible piece of shit,
Right.
and they don't deserve any sort of revenue from this movie.
Why is the new Flash movie their set point? Because I mean,
It's
agree.
Flashpoint.
It's Flashpoint.
And Flashpoint in the DCU resets. There's a whole storyline in the DCEU called the Flashpoint where Barry does go back in time and saves his mom, and by doing that, sends a ripple effect across the DC universe. So Bruce Wayne gets shot instead of Thomas Wayne and Martha Wayne, and Thomas Wayne becomes a Punisher Batman, where like he shoots people and kills them, and then Martha
and
Wayne
his mom becomes
is
the Joker,
and there's like a whole bunch of other stuff.
It's a crazy. It's actually really cool,
but what they're doing. And what Flash has been used
and
for...
that's why Keaton's coming back to play Batman, and who else is coming back?
They fucked that up, too, because they were going to do Batman Beyond with him, and they fucked it up.
Oh, that would have been good.
They fucked
How'd
it
they
up.
fuck it up?
That was one of his canceled... He was scheduled to be in another project, and that was one of them.
Fuckers.
But anyway, I don't know. It's hard to say what exactly is going on with DC, and we still won't know for a while. Here's some... James Gunn responded to the Hollywood Reporter. Here's a tweet thread. So, as for the story... This is on... Thursday. So as for the story yesterday in the Hollywood Reporter, some of it's true, some of it's half true, some of it's not true, and some of it We haven't decided yet whether it's true or not. Also, I love that James Gunn tweets about this shit and is very open with what he's doing, and he bites back against scoopers with lies.
Scoopers.
Although this first month at DC has been fruitful, building the next 10 years of story takes time, and we're still just beginning. Peter and I chose to helm DC Studios knowing we were coming into a fractious environment, both in the story... words are hard. The stories being told and in the audience itself, and there would be an unavoidable transitional period as we moved into telling a cohesive story across film, TV, animation, and gaming. Those last two really excite me, because...
Oh, man, I just got a big old boner.
I don't know how they're going to connect games to the movies or whatever, but that's cool.
Yeah.
But I think what he's referring to is like still making
storylines.
They're licensed games, but yeah, they're like movie games, but hopefully good, because movie games usually suck.
They're like movie games, but good.
You know what people don't understand about movie games is like they're not really the movie you're playing, the story. They get a script from the movie, but they're like, don't make this the movie so you don't spoil the movie. Like, it's a whole thing. But in the end, the drawbacks of that transitional period were dwarfed by the creative possibilities and the opportunity to build upon what was worked in DC so far.
Which is nothing.
And to help rectify what is not. So I think he could be referring to maybe keeping Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman, maybe bring back Ben Affleck to be Batfleck, maybe doing something like that. Could be what he's saying. We know that we are not going to make every single person happy every step of the way, but we can promise everything we do is done in the service of the story, all caps, and in the service of, all caps, DC characters we know you cherish and we have cherished our whole lives. And as for more answers about the future of the DCU, I will sadly have to ask you to wait. We are giving these characters and the stories the time and attention they deserve, and we ourselves still have a lot more questions to ask and answer. I think that's a fair statement.
I think the DCU has like one more shot in them before they're toast.
No, I don't think DC will ever die as a brand. I think it's too established.
Well, yeah, but I mean, the thing that bothers me is they have like arguably easier and more recognized characters at base,
right,
compared to Marvel, and they just cannot make a good.
And it's frustrating because we all want DC to succeed. We don't want Marvel to be the only superhero shit in town. And
wasn't there an edict at DC like no more Batman origin scenes ever?
No,
wasn't that one of the I think I read an article where James Gunn came in and basically laid down a set of rules, and he was like, "We're it was the Batman animated series, the classic animated series. The guys who made that, they said like, we're never going to show Batman's origin.
We already know
never gonna. Yeah, we already know it.
Well, I'll never forget sitting in the theater watching Batman v Superman, and then his parents getting shot in the opening credits. I'm like, why do we keep seeing these people being murdered? We know by now. Even if you haven't seen the
let's get two recognizable hot actors right now.
Even if that were your first Batman movie, you would know. Batman is bigger than DC. Batman is bigger than anything. And Batman is its own thing at this point. I'm very optimistic because I think James Gunn will do just fine. Sure. I think he'll be great in this role.
I also think he's bringing in a lot of the key success points that he learned at Marvel.
And people forget he's bringing in a collective of people. It's not just going to be him directing and writing everything. He's going to bring in his other people that he can trust and do it.
But I feel like he's like the first person that DC's brought in that has been on the Marvel side and is
right. And he was good friends with Feige. So
he knows how to storyboard.
Shout out a high five to Kevin Feige, always being a good dude for the press when they after the news of the DC studios, and he said, "I'll be the first one in the theater." Yeah. To see that movie. I'm like, that's a good guy.
I mean, he has to be. He doesn't feel that
he's got to watch the competition.
Well, I mean...
No, but I meant like...
Well, and he wants to support his friend, yeah.
I don't think he hates DC.
He doesn't, no.
Well, no he doesn't hate them right now because they're not a threat.
You should never... You should never hate your competition because your competition's only going to make you better.
Right, but like he doesn't have competition right now.
No,
not yet.
Really doesn't. No.
And that's... I as much as I fucking hate David Zaslav, I'm impressed that he went out and got James Gunn. Yeah, he said, look, Peacemaker and the Suicide Squad were the only things working at the end there that people wanted. Yeah. Even though the Suicide Squad was a flop, it wasn't James Gunn's fault. They released it on HBO Max same day.
They hurt their own feelings several times with that shit.
That was I loved it as a consumer, but as a business decision, it was fucking stupid.
Yeah.
Why would, but yeah. Anyway, speaking of terrible financial decisions, let's talk about Black Adam. So, The Rock. We've talked. You've clearly got an axe to grind with Dwayne Johnson that we can touch on this show. But
I don't, because I love The Rock and I love everything he has done. I enjoy him as a person. I have loved all of his stuff until recently, but I think right now he's just doing so much that I just like, I need you to, again, take 10 to 20% off. Like, I just slow down, because you are a good thing. You are a good person.
He's
think.
oversaturated.
Have you seen the
himself.
size of that man? He has become a boulder. Like, he ain't gonna slow down.
But that's what I mean. Is I think that's a
He's
good way.
a juggernaut.
That's a good way to put it. Is he's just oversaturated himself, and
He,
he's just doing
I felt
so
that way
much.
for a long time. It seemed like every year there was like 3 movies from Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
Yeah.
It's like, okay,
And then
you
he's
got an
doing-
action one, you got a comedy, and then you got, you know what I mean?
Well, and then he's doing like Terramana, which is my favorite tequila brand. That is my go-to. Whatever.
you gotta get his Zoa energy drinks.
I love his Zoa energy drinks.
Crack a Zoa and let's go.
I enjoy his like Under Armour products. Like, I've always been a huge fan of him, but right now I'm just like, I need.
Are you gonna watch
to,
the XFL? I am.
Is
I
he in
mean,
it?
Sure. Yeah,
Yeah, he owns it. Him and his wife.
The entire
Him and
thing?
his ex-wife / business.
The
partner
entire
bought it.
thing?
Yeah, he
He
literally
bought it on a fire sale. Like they when because after they shut down because of COVID, yeah, Vince McMahon like liquidated all of his assets and was selling it, and The Rock bought it for dirt cheap.
Yeah.
And now they're gonna kick off in February.
Yeah, they just
Yeah,
had
no,
their-
I knew that.
They just had their draft a while back.
Got the new unis out.
Mhm.
I'm a little upset because
Why?
they moved the Vipers to Vegas, but then I was also like, Vegas is cool.
But like my only other thing with him is like, so far, like relatively, he has not had a flop. And Black Adam's the first time. And I don't want to see him spiral.
This is the best he's ever done.
He does have
at
that
the
thing in
box
his
office.
contract that he can't lose in a fight in any of
Which,
his
I
At
movies.
least in the Fast and the Furious movies. I don't know about every movie, but
That's
it might be every
fair. That's fair. I didn't. You know what? That's
Anyway,
fair to
let's talk about
quantify
Black
that.
Adam's box office. So Black Adam made $387 million worldwide in terms of profits to a $195 million budget. This is
Come in.
This is The Rock. This is The Rock talking about his.
I saw he tweeted.
Yeah,
like,
this is The Rock's tweet. Okay, so sorry, I thought this was from the article that I was using to reference
You
this.
dick.
I'm sorry. So this is The Rock saying the film's $387 million worldwide profits to a $195 million budget, coupled with marketing and other costs, meant the film would struggle to break even. Some of these costs included an $80 million marketing campaign, which fell $20 million short of Warner Brothers' pre-COVID plans for advertising the film. Waiting to confirm with financiers before I share this excellent #Black Adam news. Our film will profit, all caps, between $52 million to $72 million. Fact. At almost $400 million worldwide, we are building our new franchise step by step. The first Captain America only made $370 million for the DC future. That one was in parentheses.
my whole thing with that is like, when he tweeted that, throwing in
That was oof.
when he tweeted the Captain America thing, I was like, I don't care if you're defending your film and stuff, but I was like, it makes me feel like you're not handling the criticism well when you're throwing jabs. Like, yeah, like
He also bitched about IGN comparing the box office of Black Panther and Black Adam. And
Which
he's
I
like,
thought his-
which is not, in his defense,
I was
is
gonna
not
say-
a fair comparison.
I was gonna say, I felt he was right on that.
Yeah.
Like, they're.
But I just
totally
thought that was funny that he went after IGN for that.
But I mean, that was fair because I mean, like, you can't compare those things. They're different things, and they all have different weights. There's also a lot more invested in Black Panther currently than Black Adam.
Yeah, but I mean,
I didn't think that was a fair comparison for them to do anyway.
Yeah, it's just
Black Adam is a sequel. You got a bunch of people waiting and anticipating the sequel, you know, ready to go to it and everything. Black Adam is a brand new thing that he's trying to get people to come out and see. It's not.
Which
that
I
same
thought he
thing.
did a good job promoting his film.
Yeah, and it wasn't as bad as I thought it would be.
But
I
it was
haven't seen
it
it. I
was
thought it was gonna
not
be
it
awful.
was not gonna it was an average at best.
It was a good time.
Superhero movie.
It was a good time at the movies.
But I mean, that's how I
It
feel.
was a fun movie.
I can definitely say I had a good time watching the movie in the theater.
I enjoyed
was
it.
The spectacle that you know what I mean?
But I wouldn't tell you to go out of your way to see it.
No.
But my whole thing is, that's what I feel with a lot of Warner Brothers or DC products is, I'm like, yeah, that was all right.
Yeah.
That's how I feel about a lot of their movies. Is like, oh, that was okay.
I've
That was
never
fun.
cried at a DC movie, but I have cried at Marvel movies. There you go.
There's just I don't know what the recipe is different in or why they're able to do it, but Marvel just does.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, let's be honest. I mean, Marvel's products have taken a dip in
I think
in
it's
quality.
They did, especially in this last
And
film.
that's why they're slowing down, because
Yeah,
they
well,
want to make sure that they have the quality before the quantity.
And I think that was a huge mistake to make quantity over quality with Phase
They
4.
realized
and
that.
that was frustrating because there was some.
There's some decent stuff.
People don't like Thor: Love and Thunder. I loved Thor: Love and Thunder. I enjoyed that.
The farther I get away from it, the less I think of it. But I don't. I'm never going to get to a point where I didn't like it.
Yeah.
It's just that the farther away I get from it, the more I think the
It's
criticisms
fair.
might have been a little more valid than I first gave credence to.
That's kind of where I'm at. I've watched it 3 times now.
I still love the message of the movie,
Yeah, it's great.
but yeah, there's a lot of decisions that were made. Yeah, the whole opening sequence with those aliens is funny, but like.
That's the
You
only.
also still destroyed like an entire planet's like really holy temple. Like that's not that funny. I know it's
See,
fictional, but
this is my problem. It's a fucking comic book movie.
I know, but
Which is another reason why I like Black Adam so much, because Black Adam knows it's dumb. Black Adam knows it's stupid.
Does it though?
And, yeah,
I didn't.
It
feel
tries
like
to be
that at
serious,
all.
but
Okay.
it's stupid. Like,
well, yeah.
I feel like you have to pick a lane. You either can be.
actually, you know what? You're right. You're right. That movie does not know it's stupid, but that movie does know
You can be
that it's a comic book.
You can be campy or you can be serious.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas like Doctor Strange, I felt like.
I fucking love that too.
Which I didn't. I've it's grown on me. I didn't like it at first because it was campy.
But I'm a
then-
Raimi guy, so.
But I was gonna say then I kind of I stepped back again and I was like that was a Sam Raimi film.
Yeah.
Marvel has not made
Totally
a bad
is.
movie. Marvel has not made a movie, even as much as I don't like Eternals,
Yeah.
it has not made a movie where I'm like, that was shit,
Yes.
in my opinion.
There's
But that's the
weak
thing.
products.
And this is why I'm
Yeah.
comparing. But this is why I'm comparing Phase 1 and Phase 4 so much. And it again, I don't know.
There were some weak
My
products in
biggest thing too, and you and I were talking about this leading up to the release of Black Adam, and I think this is a big reason why Black Adam failed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was a gamble for Marvel to make a movie based on Iron Man,
Right.
right? And look, it worked out for him and made this empire.
Sure. Yeah.
But I think The Rock is coming to terms with the fact that, like Tarantino said in our last episode, or last couple episodes, it doesn't matter who the star is.
Yeah.
The character is what matters.
Yes.
And people don't know who the fuck Black Adam is. And you and I went around and around about this because I agree with you. Nobody fucking knows Black Adam.
Everybody knows who The Rock is. Nobody
Shaz-
knows who Black Adam
Shazam-
is.
look,
you put them together, and it's kind of a clusterfuck.
Shazam made money,
Yeah.
but it's still. But if before that movie, there'd be nobody that knows who Shazam is, and I
No.
guarantee you they didn't go see it because Zachary Levi's in it.
No.
You
they
know what I
went to
mean?
see it
But
because
he
it was
was
a
great.
comic
And
book movie.
But
this
he
is-
was great.
He
in
was
that movie.
great. Yeah, but
But
he wasn't like. Yeah, nobody went and.
And I still like Dwayne Johnson. I still like him.
Yeah, I love
but
him.
I think this is a huge dent in his ego because I
think
think
so.
this is
It would
and
be,
like
yeah.
we were talking about before the show. And this has made the most money any movie it's made opening weekend box office for him and any movie he starred in. But you're right, he didn't have superhero budgets. He had much more modest budget.
Where he
And-
was the budget.
And
Yeah.
and the marketing budget for those movies was certainly not 80 to 100
only
million
one-
like Black Adam was supposed to be or whatever
The
the
only-
tweet said.
The San Andreas is like still one of his still his biggest
I
movie.
liked that movie. I enjoyed
I
it.
never saw it.
I saw
it was a
Scott-
good-
Hey, I like the
I want to see Rampage.
That was
Here-
good. I liked
here-
it.
I want to see it because I love that video game
Yeah,
when I
that
was a
was fun.
kid.
Here's
yeah.
the conflicting issue because I am the guy who has seen most of the Rock's movies in theaters.
Wow.
2 of them I did because I had Movie Pass at the time.
Even Skyscraper.
Skyscraper was shit, but I saw that in the theater because
See, I don't even know all of his movies
So I
because I didn't pay enough
I bought
attention.
into The Rock being a superstar, being a movie star
Because he's
but,
fun.
But that's me.
He's fun
But you
to
also have to
watch.
come in mind that I loved The Rock when I was a kid. I've been watching The
Yeah.
Rock since I was a little boy when he was fucking doing WWE shit. So I've always liked The Rock. I've always been on The
Yeah.
Rock's side. So I'm different. I'm not like everybody else.
Well,
and yes, he still has a lot of wrestling fans that will watch his movies, but at this I think he's coming to terms with this is just not the climate anymore.
I mean, I never grew up watching wrestling. I grew to like The Rock because of who he was as a person and a character, and
I mean, you know how many people are outraged that Robert Pattinson was cast at Batman, and then everybody fucking saw that movie opening weekend because it's Batman.
it's Batman. Yeah,
You want to see Batman. That's what it is.
well, and also
We wanted to see Robert Pattinson's take on Batman.
I didn't really want to see
but
Robert Pattinson's
but
take
it,
on Batman.
but it was I mean,
because you
but
haven't
that's,
seen
that's
everything
the thing
he's
is
he's a
you
good
know
actor.
whoever was going to be in the suit, you were going to go see that person's iteration of the Batman
Oh,
because
sure, yeah.
it's the Batman.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
And it's honestly, there could be arguments made that
And that was a great movie. Holy
there
shit.
could be arguments
So
made
good.
that you could have a movie star and like that guy, like Michael Keaton is Batman. He's gonna be Batman in every movie. Like you could set that up and have that, and some people believe in that. I don't.
Right.
I believe in the idea of having different actors for different portrayals because it's just like a comic book. There's so many different
So the only- my
interpretations,
only-
and that's the beauty of those characters.
But
is
that's
you
been
can do different
since comic
stories.
book movies. Is the first Superman was what's his name? Who nobody knew.
And then you got Cavill, and he is perfect.
But nobody knew him when he was
And there's-
first
and then
Superman.
Look, and then
That's kind of the point of superhero
My-
casting.
My only complaint about Cavill's Superman is he's jacked and he's hot Clark Kent. Like
He
that's-
does, yeah. That's what Reeves.
Christopher Reeves, yeah.
Yeah.
Reeves did better than anybody. Is that he was so noble and like
He was
whatever
nerdy.
as Superman. He was Superman.
He was a really good dork
but he was
as
oh,
Clark
oh,
Kent.
yeah,
Yeah.
he slouched and oh gee Lois. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, he was great.
It was
but
sorta-
yeah, Cavill was like, hey, what's up? I'm Superman. I'm also Clark Kent. You want to do me both? You both? You want to do
I'm
both sides? of
bursting
me?
through this
I'm
tiny
bursting
jacket.
through this tiny jacket. Watch me reload my arms. That's not the right movie.
That was still the best thing.
But I
ever.
mean, how can you not? Henry Cavill's a beautiful man.
Objectively,
he's a
Objectively,
beautiful
a
hunk of-
handsome
hunk of-
dude.
yeah,
hunk
he-
of
he's a
burning love.
beautiful man.
He looks like Superman.
Yeah,
He's
now-
got the jaw. He's
now
got
I'm
everything.
He was
Uncomfortable.
perfect.
Now,
And that's the thing,
I'm
too.
thinking of that sweaty Henry Cavill.
Man, what an ass.
You ever watch him build a PC? Oh man.
Tell me about Warhammer 40K.
What are you talking about? That's on my favorites list on YouTube.
That's what I love about him too. He's such a fucking nerd.
He's a dork, yeah.
Yeah.
He's like painting Warhammer 40K figurines. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. I don't know anything about that.
No, I don't either.
But props to you, man. Love what you love. Yeah. So yeah, it's just again, it's a dent to his ego. This is a guy who's been reached the top of the WWE. He's been atop the box office. He's had such great success, and then he's like, well, actually, I made money. It's like, again,
This is
Star
the first
power-
time that he's like, well, yeah.
did I see Black Adam because it was The Rock? Maybe, but I was going to see that movie anyway, not just because of the podcast, but I watch pretty much every superhero movie, and him and I have talked about this.
I'll watch.
I can
every
find
movie.
good in any superhero.
Yeah.
Me too. I still like Green Lantern and Ben Affleck's Daredevil because it was Green Lantern and Daredevil.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they were terrible movies objectively, but I
mean,
still
like,
liked them
even
sort
the
of.
Transformers movie, like you're not watching them because they're a
That-
cinematic
I
masterpiece.
like-
but
I
they're
s-
fun. I enjoy.
I still
those
like that
movies.
first one, and
I
then
can't
it go,
wait for Rise of the Beasts.
I'm soaked.
after.
Yeah, I was.
You're
stoked.
soaked,
I'm soaked in my
Dude,
pants.
dude. Can we use that? That's got to be a drop.
Yes.
That's got to be merch. I'm
Yeah.
soaked. Soaked. I'm fucking ready for this trailer. I'm soaked. What are you?
I'm soaked like I've been walking through the jungle.
It'll win over the Mormons for sure. We'll get a
Mm.
lot more Mormon listeners.
Really?
If we're soaking. You know about that?
Thanks, BYU.
Apparently, the Mormons
This is
are
off
big
panel,
into
off
hot,
topic.
Yeah,
hot
we need
tubs.
to. This
No,
is-
I will
this
talk
is-
about
This is
this.
for the end of the show.
Hot topics.
Oh yeah, we'll
hot
play. We'll
tubs.
play our.
There's a
outro
lot of
music.
hot tubs in Utah.
I
A
don't.
lot of them.
I don't know if that's true.
Have you been to Utah?
Soaking. They're soaking in Utah.
That's not what's.
Either way-
Are we talking about panties?
Shut up. Well, you haven't been on the show. So last week we had Trailer Mania because there were so many trailers.
There
last
was, yeah.
week. So
Also, can we just say real
I did. Have
quick-
you? Okay, let me ask you this. No, you go ahead.
I was
interrupt
gonna say
you.
real quick.
I keep interrupting the guest. I'm sorry.
Shut up.
Shut the fuck up.
As much as I love Indiana Jones, stop making Indiana Jones movies.
I don't know, man. I got
It
that trailer
looks
was really
really
good.
It looks really good. I just like Harrison's 90 years old. He's gonna break a hip.
There's
I'm surprised at how good the stunts looked, and you know some of that's going to have to be like CGI'd if they
you-
want to make it
but
look
the trailer
good.
looked
There-
awesome.
there's
right?
been-
It looked like
and the
those
de-aging
high stakes stunts
looked-
that
Did you hear
made
the
the
leaks?
first couple movies.
So we talked about the leaks last week about with the Dial of Destiny, the possibility of being time
right,
travel.
right.
There's also leaks that he dies in this.
He should.
And
but no, he can't.
what's
he,
her
but
name?
he can't die in this, right?
The chick from Fleabag.
Phoebe Waller-Bridge.
Phoebe Waller-Bridge.
Wait.
She's gonna take over. Is what's in the
But
rumors
hold
of
on.
what's
What was
happening.
up?
Didn't the one where he has his son with Shia LaBeouf, or not? I don't know. The one with Shia LaBeouf. Didn't that technically take place after this? The Temple of the
No,
Skull?
that took place in the 50s.
Yeah,
this
this is
one
set in the
takes place in
60s.
69,
Okay,
1969.
That was the one thing I was
Nice.
confused on. Is
No, 60.
yeah, because it's around the space race, right?
Yeah, it's around the space race, so it's
Yeah.
mid-60s maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. But
But
yeah.
That was a good trailer though.
it was a good trailer.
That's a good Andy trailer.
It made
for
me
sure.
excited.
Yeah, it looked like it. Yeah, Indiana
My
Jones
favorite
movie.
part was the joke at the end because it's so dumb, but it's so cheesy. It works for Indiana Jones, where he like whips at him and then they shoot at him, and
that
he
was
just,
funny.
Like it's a classic movie.
I was gonna say that was a classic Indiana Jones like motif. Like
See,
a thing.
I read an article by somebody who's younger, and they don't really get it, but they were like,
Also, Black Adam flopped.
but they were talking. Yeah, by the
Next
way,
segment.
they were talking about how they're fixing the whatever the un-PC part in Raiders of the Lost Ark where he shoots the Arabic swordsman. It's like, well, first of all, you're right about the fact that the movie is modeled after the serials in like the 30s and 40s that Spielberg and Lucas exactly.
Things, yeah.
And in those movies, oftentimes Indiana Jones would flip those expectations on their heads, like when a guy comes out with a big sword
and you shoot
instead
him.
of fighting.
But that was like an iconic thing.
But here's what people don't remember is that there was supposed to be a big deal with like his whip and all that stuff, but Harrison Ford had dysentery, and he was not having that shit that day.
My favorite thing about
So he came up to Spielberg and he's like, dude, I'm just going to shoot him, man.
Yeah.
And Spielberg was like, I love it. So this person who wrote this article was talking about the problematic of the Arabic, the whatever, misrepresentation, whatever. And they failed to recognize that entire scene happened because Harrison Ford had to take a shit.
He didn't want to shit his pants.
Like, you're not talking about the right thing. I know you want to be like, look at me.
Dude, and
But
look.
no, it's
look.
because he had to take a shit and he didn't want to do it anymore.
Also, I enjoyed the Millennial Falcon screenshot that they had in the trailer.
Yeah.
That's what as soon as I saw that, I was like, did they just take a? I know they're both Lucasfilms or whatever.
Yeah,
but
No, I'm excited about that. Let's see. What else did you watch the trailer to Cocaine Bear?
no, I did watch the one for the Transformers though, which I'm really
Oh,
excited about.
dude. I was talking to him about this last night. I was just like, you had me at fucking...
Perlman as a gorilla.
Gorillas are my favorite animal. And then you call him Optimus Primal, and then you say it's Ron Perlman. I'm fucking buying a ticket day one.
It looks so good.
I need to look up the director, because the director did a movie that
we
I
talked
really
about
liked.
this too. My big issue with the first Transformers movies, and he was telling me that Bumblebee is kind of a soft reboot. So
It
if I
is.
start there,
It's supposed
I
to
can
be.
get into Rise of the Beast because I don't want to watch any of the Michael Bays.
here's how you
I
know-
don't want to
Well,
watch
they're
them.
all
Listen.
way after this. This is in the 80s.
Oh,
This is technically a prequel, and that's why Optimus Prime
oh,
looks.
He looks like a Gen 1 Optimus Prime.
Yeah,
you didn't tell
thank
me
you.
this.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I told you they fight in Cybertron. They send him back, and he becomes the Bug, and he's with Haley Steinfeld.
No!
Stop it right now.
Yeah, it's a
You
prequel.
lied to me.
No,
This
I
is
think
a
that-
prequel to all of. The
I don't
Michael Bay
even
films.
think it's a prequel. I think it's a reboot of them saying all of those Michael
Either way,
Bay movies. Don't
my
exist
problem
anymore.
with I saw the
I think
first
they're
one-
resetting the canon. in my
I saw the
I-
very
I-
first one in the theaters, but the
I don't know.
problem is
I don't know.
the headache that I got from trying to follow the transformations. Like, there was too much CGI in that shit. Like, make it simple, stupid. Or keep it
but
simple,
again,
stupid.
You would know more about this than I would. This is pure speculation that they're rebooting the whole thing. Because
No.
to me, Bumblebee is a soft reboot, but I could be wrong.
Yeah,
Because there's no other. There's no references to Michael Bay's. There's
but
no
again-
references to Sam Witwicky or anything like
But
that.
again,
But that
Bumblebee
follows if it's
He was already
before
there in the first
But it-
Transformers.
It
movie.
follows if it's
It's a
before
prequel.
those movies that they wouldn't have references because it hasn't happened
Bumblebee
yet.
was also a prequel to
And-
Michael Bay because it took place in the
Acco-
80s or whatever.
According to canon, technically the Transformers have been here the whole time because you had the
Let's not
fucking
forget that
Dinobots
this,
and the
let's not
Beasts
forget
and the-
that these are all fucking commercials for fucking toys.
And guess what? I got a son.
Works.
Guess what, Tyler? I got a fucking son now, so you know I'm buying all those toys
Man,
when he can play
hey.
with
I
them.
just love that.
Look,
like,
I know this and I
it
still
is
want
the
to see
only
them.
franchise that can bring in some of the dumbest dumbest cartoons and make it cool again.
Mm.
Like they're bringing in fucking Animorphs again.
When,
Yeah,
and by
yeah.
the way, when
Beast
Peter
Wars.
Yeah,
when
exactly.
Peter Cullen dies, we're just not doing Optimus Prime anymore. He's got to be.
Or is he going to sell his voice to Hasbro like James Earl
Earl
Jones
Jones.
did to Lucasfilm?
I wish Kevin Conroy would have done that.
or just have his like twin brother.
R.I.P.
Just bad CGI his face on his twin brother. You can do
The
that too.
director of this is Stephen Caple Jr. I want to see what he directed.
Who's Stephen Caple Jr.?
He okay. Let's see.
Stephen Caple.
Oh, he directed.
Jr.
He directed Creed 2.
Yeah.
But I'm excited because I do. For me, I think they're completely moving away from the Michael Bay stuff, which is exciting.
That's what I'm hoping.
Do we not
for.
like Michael Bay?
No,
I don't.
I don't.
I don't know. I don't really have an opinion on him. Is he problematic?
Well, there's some racist.
He's all style. Yes,
there's
but
some racist shit in those
the main-
Transformers movies.
right. But
I guess I haven't watched them in so long.
Dude, there's
the
two,
main thing,
like,
he's always been style over substance. Like his movies are all flash and like no depth.
no, they're explosions and
Right.
Look,
There's a place
look,
for those.
look.
That's why they were summer blockbuster fun movies.
Look, there is nostalgia.
But that's not my style.
Tyler,
but yeah, go
there is
ahead.
nostalgia
Yeah.
for Transformers.
Of course.
For me. I told you, I'm turning into a Transformers fan while reading the comics.
In
and
the
stuff.
80s, I would walk home from school and we had Transformers and G.I. Joe on after school. It was fucking
I saw
great,
I saw the first movie in theaters on July 4th weekend. You and I went there separately, and we saw each other at the screening. We went to the...
Don't call it a screening in Nebraska City, please.
It was. Yeah, it was a high-class screening in Nebraska City, Nebraska.
We were at a theater.
It was a midnight showing of...
Screening.
Of Rise of the Fallen or whatever.
Oh. See,
Revenge
I
of the
don't remember
Fallen.
which all the... Yeah.
And yeah, you and I saw it because I wasn't even gonna go. I didn't really care. And then like some other friends were like, "You go see it." And then I was like, "Oh shit, you're here," or no, we saw other friends there. Whatever the point is, it was a weird moment where like two groups of friends were like
All sat together,
conveniently at this movie at the same time. And I was up until 3 a.m. watching that second movie. And at the time in 2009 in high school, I'm like, "This movie's fucking great." And then I watch it later, and I'm like. The sequence where he's behind the robot and there's like these two wrecking balls that look like a ball sack, and he goes behind his balls, and I'm just like, what are we doing here? We're in hour number 2.
What are we doing?
Minute number 36, and we're looking at a robot's balls here, Michael Bay. What are we fucking?
Yeah, that's my problem.
Like,
they were all like 3.5 hours. Shut the fuck.
why are they so
Well, yeah,
complicated?
why? Yes. Why? That was my
Tyler.
issue.
Tyler,
Sorry.
they need the Allspark cube. That's it.
What?
That's it.
Is the fucking Allspark?
Oh, there's this
No, I
Transformer
know.
shows up on Earth because he
I
knows
know.
this Transformer's
But the-
here.
Oh,
But the thing I'll say about those is I was never bored.
No.
You know, like
I
don't-
couldn't see what was happening half
That's
the
fair.
time.
That's fair. You know what I love about what's his name, Hugo Weaving too, is he did
He's
Megatron.
good at Megatron, yeah.
The best part is he was like, I didn't give a shit about it. I showed up, I did my lines. I've never even seen the movies, and I got paid.
That's like what Gwyneth Paltrow playing Pepper Potts, like not realizing
Yeah.
she was in 3 of the movies. It's like
That's a Marvel movie? I'm in Marvel movies?
she's problematic as it is, but like
Did you ever see
she's a
God.
damn good Pepper Potts.
Did you ever
Yes.
see the?
Yes,
hey,
I can't deny it. I kind of
think
hate
Pepper
her as a
has-
human being because she's just one of those stupid celebrities. Like, everybody wants a candle. It smells like my vagina. Like,
What
no.
is goop?
The-
Is
don't-
that really
no.
from her vagina?
No,
No, it's a
just-
candle that smells like her vagina
Okay,
from
she
a company called Goop.
She started Goop Lab.
Yes.
And it's a problematic thing.
It's a great name.
and we're not talking about it here.
No, we're not gonna, there's a whole lot to unravel that we don't want to
No,
get
let's
into
make
here.
no.
No, I'm
Let's
not
rip
doing
on
it.
Gwyneth Paltrow. We're doing it. She was married to the guy from Coldplay. That's strike number 1.
That's true.
Because I hate Coldplay.
Do you know
I
what
like
they
some of
named
their
their
songs.
daughter Apple?
Strike number 2. And
Me
now
too.
vagina candles. Strike number 3. You're done. I'm excited.
Get
for
out of
that.
here, GP.
Did you see the trailer for Mario?
Yeah, that looks fun.
That looks awesome.
Yeah.
I'm really
not,
excited.
I'm
about
not
it.
as pissed. I know there's people who are really upset about the accent, and I'm like, I don't really give that much of a
Sometimes
shit.
well, I mean, again, it's My Little Mermaid's white, you know, or whatever.
That-
right?
but
That's
that-
what it
you
is.
gotta-
over
you also
again.
gotta
A little bit, yeah.
I'm coming from a place of I think that we should get legitimate voice actors real work. So I think the guy that voiced Mario through all those games should get an opportunity to
he
voice
still
him
alive?
in the movie. Yes.
Oh, also, did you know that?
it's me, a Mario.
I'm assuming you
It's
actually.
that easy, Chris Pratt.
The little Lego Mario I have has that voice.
I'm assuming
Woohoo!
you guys knew this, but I guess Mark Hamill is in the Guardians of the Galaxy special.
He's not. Did you read about that? The guy who's drinking?
Yeah, okay. That's
There was a whole rumor going around
That
that,
that
was
was Mark
Mark Hamill,
Hamill,
but
was
his
it?
son came out and was like, "That's not my dad." And I think Hamill actually said, "No, I'm not in it."
Oh, that
Oh,
would have
that's
been really
bullshit.
fun, man. I thought that.
I don't know if he came out and said it though. His son said, "No, that's not
so
him."
what did you think of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 trailer? Said that really fast.
Uh,
Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. You know what I mean?
oh, that looks Guardians of the Galaxy 3 trailer looks great.
I'm gonna cry.
Herbert Wyndham.
Oh, right, the trailer.
I think Herbert Wyndham. I think he's a phenomenal actor. I'm excited to see him just play a weird.
Yeah, because he was great in Peacemaker.
He was. I think he's a good pick to play some weird
Is that the
scientist.
same guy? Is that who
Yeah,
I'm thinking
yeah.
of?
I think so. Right.
Yeah. Yeah, he was in. Yeah, he was in.
I'm trying to
Peacemaker.
remember
He was Mun.
I might thinking of a different name. But
Was that the guy's name?
I think you're right. I'm
In
just
Peacemaker?
gonna look it up real quick. Anyway,
I mean, he's a great actor.
Yeah.
well, and I think it's gonna be interesting because I think they're gonna tie the High Evolutionary to Rocket because in the comics,
I thought that was always the thing.
Yeah, because he likes to turn people into animals and like that. Whole thing.
The High Evolutionary. Yeah, he's an interesting character.
Because
from the
that's
comics.
what we're seeing.
Did you see that he showed up in character?
Yeah, his monologue was great. That's what I mean. I think he's gonna be phenomenal.
Mm.
But that's another thing.
And it's nice to see that from that guy because I liked Myrn a lot in Peacemaker.
Myrn.
That's another thing that I think Marvel does really well is they've convinced actors that I wouldn't necessarily see to be part of the cinematic universe.
Right.
And they also just get phenomenal actors. Granted, Marvel has a ton of weight now.
Sure.
Whereas, like, you know, with RDJ, like, he was problematic and Jon Favreau bailed him out and put a lot on the line.
I cannot pronounce his name.
That's okay.
Wait, hang on.
It's CHUKW.
Is it not?
Oh, it's Chuck Woody Iwuji.
Oh, yeah. He's also phenomenal.
Yeah. That's who
Iwuji.
the High Evolutionary is. Who are you thinking?
And he was in Myrn and Peacemaker.
Herbert Wyndham. What am I thinking of then?
Herbert Wyndham.
Look it up.
We're looking at. Yeah, no. So yeah, in the
How do you spell
there was a
That's a character's name.
a summer annual series
Herbert
back in
Wyndham,
the
the High
'80s
Evolutionary,
called.
Oh yeah, so
the
that's
character.
the
You're
guy.
right. You're right. Yeah.
Okay, I was like, wait, what am I saying here? Something.
I thought you were saying that was an
Um,
actor.
no, that's
Herbert
the name
Wyndham.
of
I
the-
see what you're saying. Now.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's an interesting character in the comics, and they had a summer for a long time. They had these summer storylines that involved all the annuals.
Yeah.
So they would have every annual that came out would be part of the storyline. One of them was Atlantis Attacks, where Namor supposedly died. Nothing ever happened in these things, but it was like a promotional, crossover.
Sure.
And one of them was the Evolutionary War, and in it, he actually goes to a point where he ascends into godhood. The High Evolutionary. He devolves himself to the point of an amoeba, but then he somehow evolves himself into God. It's a long and really kind of stupid story.
Well, I mean, his whole thing is becoming better and adapting or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah. So it's I liked the clip where he was just standing there like staring at this person running around in a wheel.
He looks awesome.
Yeah, he looks pretty good.
Yeah, I
don't think Rocket's gonna die.
I don't think it'll be.
I think James Gunn is playing to that in that trailer to be a way to subvert your expectations.
I also sort of hope they don't kill Drax, even though I know Dave Bautista's done.
Can we just let them ride off into the sunset? We don't have to kill them.
Yeah, I sometimes,
sure?
Sometimes like a death is good. Like with RDJ, that was good.
Yeah,
And
Chris Evans got let him grow old.
The Chris Evans thing was good.
I don't know, man. I'm just gonna cry so much because they bringing in his girlfriend who's the otter, and then
Lyra. I think it's Lyra or
Lila or
Lila.
Lila.
I'm thinking,
I can't remember.
but I think because you have seen the Hot Lady special, right?
Yeah, which I thought was
I think
fun.
the idea to make Mantis his sibling is so that you feel even worse because I feel
That
like
saved
the
it for me.
the shot of him crying in the trailer I
could be
think is
Mantis.
her dying.
I
It
could see
could be
Mantis
her
dying.
dying, and it's like we're playing a lot with this. I like it. I think no matter what they're saying with this movie is this is the end of James Gunn's version of the Guardians of the Galaxy. I think they're going to continue the Guardians of the Galaxy.
They're too big at this
with
point.
a different team or a different thing because they've already set up all the different Ravengers and I think in this movie they're probably going to set up them owning Nowhere and all that other shit.
Zoe Saldana, she's like her Gamora or whatever is leading a group of Ravengers, so like we could have something there. Like that's.
I think that name will continue with a different group of characters, and I don't think Rocket's going to die. I don't think Groot's going to die either. I think
it's Mantis.
it'll probably be Mantis and Drax.
I don't think.
Or maybe even Quill. I could see them killing. No, they're gonna keep Star-Lord.
I can't find the.
But Chris
name
Pratt
of his
comes
girlfriend.
with his own baggage, so I don't know. And you know what? Look, I don't know everything about Chris Pratt and his whole situation.
He can be kind of problematic sometimes.
But he seems like a nice guy. I don't know.
He seems like if there's anybody acting on his behalf in terms of some sort of sinister agenda, he doesn't know about it, or
He seems like he'd be dumb.
it's
to it,
not
yeah.
his idea.
He just says.
He just loves God.
I was like, he just
Kinda,
he
yeah.
He just says some dumb shit every.
He's,
now
Yeah.
and
he's
then.
just a Christian, and he says some stupid shit. Like
He's-
I don't
yeah,
know. I
but-
don't care.
I mean, he seems like a really nice guy.
I think he's less problematic than other individuals, but every now and then he just says some stupid.
He just
shit.
catches.
Evangeline Lilly. Evangeline Lilly.
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean,
excuse me.
Or
Even
the Shuri.
Latoya Wright.
Latoya Wright.
You know what? Letitia Wright
Or-
can. You know what? I like her.
Is it
It's Latoya.
It's Letitia Wright,
Letitia.
and I like her.
I'm gonna look that up.
Wow.
now.
She
Prove
can
it.
go ahead and be all anti-vax she wants to be.
I think she's less problematic than Evangeline Lilly.
True. I think because she wasn't as vocal with social media.
That's
Evangeline Lilly made it a deal.
You know what? Gina Carano did nothing wrong.
Evangeline Lilly, she doubled down. That was
Right.
the problem.
Yeah.
At least with Shuri,
Yeah, he's right. It's Letitia.
Letitia. Okay, which she's
Of course I am.
phenomenal. She's a wonderful.
fucking knew it.
I was really sad when that whole thing happened because she's a phenomenal actress, and I didn't want to see her out of the MCU.
Right.
Like I
And I think a lot of it
Scarlett-
was misreported anyway, because like none of her co-stars were like fuck her, you know.
Yeah.
well, right, yeah, I don't think. I think that was her sole issue.
Did you see Wakanda Forever?
Yes, absolutely.
Woke Wakanda forever.
Wakanda.
I
Dude,
loved it.
I loved how they did Namor.
So
I love
loved
that
it,
movie. We
yeah.
talked
Did you
about
love
that
how
on the
they
pod.
photoshopped his bulge out because it wasn't family friendly? I
Apparently,
don't know if
that
that's
was
real
his
or not.
double. I think.
I don't, you know, it's just
Either way, release
Got such a big wang.
release the Namor Dawn cut.
the dong cut.
Let that thing out.
I was,
Uncut it.
I was so happy when I got a Namor Lego minifigure. Like,
No.
yeah, I finally have a
I like
Submariner.
him being Namor,
The water.
the boy who knows, or boy with no love.
Yeah,
Yeah, but
Yeah, a boy who doesn't know love, or something. Like
that because more is love and it's
Yeah.
no love, so it's
No more.
you add an
that.
A.
Namor.
yeah, I didn't mind that they pronounced
The-
it different.
Also,
ways.
shout out to 2 movies coming out in 2022 where we kill bad people during those times. Where Namor kills all the, were they French? Would you say the people that attacked the land where he comes back?
Oh, the colonizers.
Colonized. But I'm just saying,
Probably
two
Portuguese.
movies this
Actually,
year.
you know what? Probably Portuguese at that time.
I don't know. Point is, we had 2 movies this year where a character eviscerates colonizers, and I think that's
I still love that
because Prey
Shuri-
was a fantastic when they killed all the fur
Oh,
traders in that movie.
yeah.
Mwah.
I still love that Shuri calls Everett Ross her favorite colonizer. Still, that makes me laugh every single time.
Also, I hope people clip that. I really hope people clip the part of me being like, that's when they killed the fur traders. Mwah.
Oh,
You know.
we had a whole thing about it, remember?
I want my bag. I want my bag.
Fuck you, lady.
My only complaint about
This
Black Panther.
is such a free-form episode. This is a
Black
relaxed
Panther
fit.
Forever. It's not even about Black Panther, the movie Black Panther movie. It was that like they didn't really tell us about Talokan. They just like showed it and it was a beautiful scene going down there, and then it was just
Oh
nothing.
man, I hated that scene.
It was, and then it was just like
I didn't hate it, but there's
so many questions you didn't answer.
You're right. It was beautiful, but I agree with you. I would have liked a little bit more lore on Talu Khan,
I
like
think
him, like
they're
giving her a little
trying
exposition.
to work around the legalities because right now,
oh yeah, with Namor.
I don't
and,
think they can make one because it's kind of like the Universal thing with Hulk.
because Universal owns the rights to.
Well,
I
not
did hear
anymore because that's why they're building towards a Hulk solo movie now. Because
I'm talking
they-
about Namor.
Yeah,
right, but
You're
yeah,
saying the same thing,
right.
I'm with
Um,
you.
But
Yeah,
like, it was
Yeah.
so cool. He's like, I brought the sun to my people. It's like, okay, how did you do this? Like, you're not a scientist, but like, how are you guys crafting by
he's
bringing?
Rakuku Khan.
So that's a good. I do want to know more about it.
Pretty
Yeah,
easy, guys.
absolutely. Yeah.
Like he's the guy.
But like Shuri's a scientist and she has this technology.
Well,
to
the
adapt
early
to
people of
vibrate.
Wakanda, like at some point, learned how to synthesize vibranium. Right. How do the Talikans do that?
Like, what is their
Right, exactly.
Also,
yeah,
it
that's
also
a
is
good,
kind of
good
weird because
question.
then you're saying that
Because you can't really have fire underwater. I mean, you can weld underwater, can't you?
Because now you're saying mutants.
But you'd
are
have to develop fire to develop
But
welding, wouldn't you?
No, I mean, it's a different type of thing.
You're also saying
Would
mutants.
an entirely seafaring, like you never
my
go to
whole-
the surface? Yeah,
My
go
whole
ahead.
thing was like, I don't have a problem with like the vibranium like absorbing sunlight and that's why it moves up and down or whatever. Like, I just want to know more about it. It's just like, because like with Wakanda, with Black Panther, it's like they have weird where it's like very not weird. I shouldn't say it's like a mix between like cultural and old school, like the Dora Milaje, but then they have futuristic tech.
There's
Right,
still,
and
like,
it's kind
tribal-
of hidden as like cultural. Right.
Whereas like with the Talokans, it felt very like old school, like cultural. It didn't feel like a sciencey thing like you get with like Wakanda.
I think you can make the point that Wakanda has been, despite the fact that they largely, for most of their history, have lied to the rest of the world about who they really are, because they're a lot more advanced. I think they still have been part of the world. Talocan has never been part of the surface world, so they've never developed the cultural. They've never gotten their technology
they're blue.
hasn't advanced
why they're
along with the rest of the world.
vibranium.
Is why I would say that because you
just
see
wanna
their
know-
ships look really really cool and they're futuristic, but there's still cultural significance
just
to
wanna
how they
know-
build their different.
I just want to know
things in
how they do it.
Wakanda.
I just feel like that was the only thing. That was my only complaint about the movie.
I would like to know that. Yeah,
is other than that, like I thought they did an excellent job with.
I think a Namor solo movie would be great.
Again, I've always told Tyler, I always give a lot more leeway to comic book movies more than regular movies. And
I
and
love
that-
exposition.
in
I
that-
love
in
it,
that
but it's so
sense-
boring to other audiences.
In that sense, I'm fine with it just being a comic book and being like, whatever. He brought the sun. I don't really.
But with but
I understand where you're
But
coming
I think
from.
with like Black Panther
I wouldn't mind it
is
either.
also a incredibly cultural significant franchise,
Mm.
and I think there's a lot of power in that. And I think also with them, with the way they handled Chadwick Boseman's passing and like the grief in that movie, I thought they did a really good job.
Yeah.
And with changing the story and doing what they did with it, and also Angela Bassett was just phenomenal.
Phenomenal.
She's
Yeah,
so
she
good.
killed it. Yeah.
She's always been good.
I'll be honest.
I was sad to see.
I did not cry with the funeral scene. What got me was the end credit scene was when it was his son.
I do. don't
T'Challa.
love
And I was
that.
like, ooh, because it hurt, but it was also like that's very clever because you have recasted T'Challa,
It was
and now you can pick any character you want to be that.
It was
version
an
of
incredibly
T'Challa.
effective way.
Incredibly moving, incredibly clever. I was like, damn, that got me.
It was incredibly incredible.
It was incredibly beautiful. Also, again, you and I talked about this. I had a passing in my family recently, and I don't know. Maybe I was just thinking about that, or that. Surprisingly, it didn't get to me because I thought
I
that,
cried a lot
Well,
during
I mean,
those
that
first
movie,
couple minutes.
I was like, that whole movie is just about like dealing with grief. And
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's been a lot. Like it was just. It's again funny timing. So I've been playing a lot of God of War Ragnarok at that time too, and I still am. But
here he comes with the video games.
always shoehorning in God of War everything.
We
But
get it. You like the
that
series.
game deals a lot with, and you and I have talked about this too, about grief and understanding how to deal with that and things like that. So having that, and then Black Panther, I was like, oh,
Legos help with grief too.
who needs a lady when you can build a Lego? All right, everybody, it's time for drum roll, please. For the Grifter Grab Bag. So this is the Grift Report.
Let's do this.
Tyler.
Do we have an actual bag that I can reach into?
I mean, we had one. There's one on the table.
bag of nuts?
Here we go. This is what we're gonna do.
No, it's like a bag of nuts.
Bag of nuts. Look, I got a walnut.
Oh, if I had known that, we got. Hold on.
Should we put some little things?
I'll
in there?
rip up some pieces of paper. and
No,
put them
no,
in.
we don't need to do
Let's
that.
just-
We'll just. I'll pull out a metaphorical strip and you just play one.
All right, so I have 5 clips.
Okay.
One particular topic has 2 clips, but these are usually when we do the Grift Report, it's tied to a certain topic
Yeah.
at the time. I thought let's do something a little different today, and let's mix it up.
Let's see what the assholes are talking about this week
Because really, you can
amongst themselves.
you can apply with their anger now. Now Gomez
Right.
is new to the show. He's like,
Oh,
"What's the Grift
ooh.
Report?" Well, the Grift Report is where we highlight these people that talk about movies and comic books just like we do. And now look, I have no problems with dissenting opinion. And if they truly saw a movie and disliked it, that's one thing. But these are people that their criticisms are it's woke. And woke means nothing. Woke just means non-white male lead. That's all that means.
When they use the word woke the way that they do, they're signaling to their followers that they are bigots and misogynists. And
they don't have
racist.
actual criticisms. They just have talking points.
Right, like the She-Hulk thing we were talking about.
Whereas you and
off
I
air.
had a dissenting opinion on Black Panther, and we actually talked about it because we're normal people. These people
Right.
are grifters. They're trying to make money. Gomez, you are the
They
guest.
are making money.
You are the guest.
Yes.
Gomez. So I have numbers here, 1 to 4, because one of these is a
Let's
two-parter
just go
clip.
3.
3?
Sure.
Just going for 3. Okay.
He's on his goddamn phone.
I know
again,
he doesn't
Jake.
even care about the show. He's texting his other people, being like, "How did you book me on this show?" Texting his agent.
You're fired. Never gonna do this
All right,
show
so
again.
number 3 is heel versus babyface.
Ooh, okay.
Heel versus. We were talking about. I was trying to transition into that clip, but it just didn't work out. So we were talking about how excited we were for Transformers: Rise of the Beast, right? What these guys love to do is they love to take promotional interviews and apply them to saying, "Well, this movie's going to be woke," and have all these.
Is it because the gorilla's black?
I wish it was that simple. But you know, they always have whenever these people do these movies, they say like ridiculous press speak to get everybody, the widest audience possible, to go see their movie, right? And a lot of the times it's cringy and it's silly and it's interviews. But these people mine that shit for content and freak out about it. Case in point,
which is wild. These are just
there's just people saying shit to go people to go see a movie.
It's a movie.
Exactly. Yeah. A fictional character. Somebody made them up. They don't exist. They're not real. And if you don't like it, make up your own. Some of them are, and it's pretty bad. Anyway, Heel versus
What was that one that you said?
Heel versus Babyface made a 15-minute response.
Which I don't know who this person is, I guess.
It's one of the grifters.
I
It's
got
not
that.
important. It's one of the people that we talk about.
Go back and listen to other episodes. He's featured on this. Listen to the show. You guest on this show. You don't even listen to it.
I don't even know what the show's called.
Play the
Off panel, off topic with Jake and Tyler.
play the fucking clip already.
All right, sorry.
Yeah. Anyway,
Jesus.
I told you I was
stop.
gonna. I'm giving you background to every clip. So you
Okay,
understand.
but now you're
wrapping
just
it-
laying into
I'm
our
wrap-
guest.
I'm wrapping.
I would
it
like
up.
the clip to start, please.
I'm wrapping it and I'm about to tap it. All right, I'm wrapping and I'm about to tap. So listen. So anyway, he makes a 15-minute video. Half of it, and I shit you not, half of it is talking about Transformers toys that he has, because he's trying to set you up and tell you like, I'm a real Transformers fan.
I'm a fan.
He's gatekeeping.
So here's his reaction to an innocuous statement in an interview. You fucking piece of shit.
Well, there goes your monetization.
In this position where we can tell a story about our
Talk about the
culture,
director and the star.
our people, and say it's fucking metal robots banging against each other and making, just like me right now, a lot of noise. It's where we can tell a story about our culture, our people, and see ourselves portrayed on the big screen, blending with this Vazaz special. The only thing that's fucking special is your fucking bonds, mate.
I don't know what
You're
that
as
means.
special as the Special Frickin' Olympics.
Yikes.
Yikes. That was the one when I was cutting this together before we recorded and you guys couldn't hear it. I'm like, oh shit. I did not know he went so mask off. So
Yeah, he went straight Special Olympics.
he not only did
Wow.
that, which by the way, these people are the only people that use this voice when they're talking about trans people or any sort of thing. They're the only people that do that lispy voice. Only people.
Yeah.
One, that. Two, you haven't even seen this fucking movie, dude. And you're saying the person that was part of it needs to be in the Special Olympics? Get your fucking head checked, man. Because, again, you said it yourself. It's bop, 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 robots smashing
what
into
the
each other.
fuck, dude?
But again,
What's
it's like they
wrong
don't.
with
They
you?
use this as a way to stir outrage. They use this as a way.
Well, it's clicks.
It's clicks. And you know what? What I told you, what it always is, they just mine these random press junket interviews because a lot of it is cringy shit trying to get everybody to go see your movie. That's what it is. Is it pandering? Absolutely.
Yes.
There's so much gay pandering and pandering. Like there are examples of that in every corporation. I'm not saying that isn't.
Right.
But all they were saying is like they're just trying to tell their story because they felt like a lot of the Michael Bay stuff was racist. They thought there was a lot of shit there. There was
There's
maybe
problematic stuff.
maybe
Yeah,
not
yeah,
maybe not
yeah.
racist, but
Insensitive.
definitely stereotypical,
Insensitive.
Yeah.
problematic for sure. And Michael Bay has always been like that. But like the dude goes on a 6-minute example of look at all my Transformers toys. I'm a real fan, and then takes that one part of the interview. I watched the whole video. Most of the toys, he bitches about this segment for a little bit, and then that's it. Because he had to reach a certain time limit to get that YouTube monetization. And he's like, well, I don't got much here, so I'm going to tell you about my toys. Bing, bop, boop, bop. Oh, shut up. So anyway, that's one clip. Now.
Wow.
I hate Heel versus Babyface.
He's a fucking
And again, I want to really stress, it is extremely hard to cut clips for that guy because he is so. All of them are so long-winded.
This is
and
a
I
guy-
get it. I get
yeah.
it. It's unscripted, but you can edit it.
We have a
Chop it up.
we have
recorded.
a clip. Yeah, we have a clip that we use a lot, and it's him. And it's when he was talking about the twerking, wasn't it? The
No, it
She-Hulk?
was Tinder. When She-Hulk had a fake Tinder account, he had
Oh
a meltdown.
my god,
over it.
dude! And because he,
Think of the fucking comedy.
He literally starts off his rant with like, "Well, first you make her into a whore," and it was like, Jesus, dude.
Okay, but like
It was just a marketing campaign.
Well, not
because,
even
because
that,
he
but-
hates women.
Well, that too, but I mean, like if you listening to interviews, like the producers and writers and like Jessica Gao for that, like that's what they were doing to.
Oh,
talk
they
about,
masterfully trolled the trolls. It
Yeah,
was
exactly.
great. The show was
Like,
amazing.
The whole thing that they did
Pissed
was
them
show
off
the
so
bullshit
much.
that women deal with not in real life, in Hollywood, and all of the shit that like women. Have
She
to go
wrote that
through.
3 years ago, and it was still relevant.
Yeah, like, it was a phenomenal.
Because things didn't change.
It was a phenomenal play.
Yeah.
Like they did a great job of showing just the
That-
hypocritical bullshit that women deal with on a daily
That was,
basis.
yeah.
that was the
Yeah,
best joke
absolutely.
she ever had on the press junket. When she's like, "We wrote this 3 years ago, and it still fit in perfectly fine to 2022." So like that is a great example of you guys are all doing the same shit.
Yep.
It's always be mad about. What are you mad about?
Nothing.
Because he made one comment in a press junket that maybe had like. And and we've seen the representation. It's throwaway stuff. Like there's a gay couple in Black Panther. They say it for 2 seconds, and that's it. And you're like, oh, they're gay, I guess. Like, ugh. And then meanwhile, we have to bitch fit because Strange World has gay couples in it too. Like, ugh. All right, Tyler. So we've already done number 3. We've got number 1 and number 2, number 4. Which one do you want?
I want number 1 because I have to pee. Just kidding.
Do you really have to be?
No.
Well, number 1. Let's go to Film Threat and let's talk about Chris Gore.
Film threat. Have we talked about these assholes?
No, we
before?
haven't talked about Chris Gore yet, and I'm
Shoot.
excited. I'm excited because
I-
Chris
I'm
Gore and I have
sorry.
history. I used to watch Chris Gore back in the day when he was on Attack of the Show on G4 TV.
Oh,
he used to be
so he turned heel, huh?
yeah. He used to
Fucker.
be they used to do a segment called DV Tuesday on Tuesdays, and they'd have him come in and talk about movies, blah 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 blah. So that's my relationship with him. I didn't know I forgot about this guy existing. Then he pops up on YouTube because he's hanging around with Nerdrotic and Geeks and Gamers and all these chuds.
Oh.
He hated Strange World. Fine. Hates the movie.
Sure.
But couldn't help himself. He's got to play the grift. Got to play this. So this first one is a YouTube short from their YouTube channel.
Which I need to watch Strange World. I've heard it's great.
It looks
I've heard-
awesome.
Man,
I've heard it's
Disney
fun.
just
It
let that
looks
movie
awesome.
die. They didn't fucking... Because they're competing against themselves because they put it in between Black Panther and Avatar. Like, what are we doing?
Fuck Avatar, by the way.
Fuck James Cameron.
I wish he couldn't. I wish he wasn't so damn confident, but he is, and it.
Did you
works.
know that James Cameron makes his wife come like 3 times? Like, he's that good. That's just who James Cameron is as a guy.
Did James Cameron say that in a press conference?
Yeah, he did. He
Okay.
told me all about it.
Okay.
I blow myself because nobody else can do it. I'm James Cameron.
That's how big my dick is, too. I don't even have to strain that hard.
You're begging for mercy.
James
What up-
Cameron,
what up,
you made
Hard-
one of the most profitable movies in the '90s. Damn it, you're still writing.
I mean, he made Terminator.
He made so many good movies.
Anyway.
I know.
But he's so full
Anyway,
of
Chris
himself.
Gore has a suggestion that he thinks will work for Disney because too many people are upset about Disney putting all these gay characters.
And they're
It-
barely doing the minimum.
Because
Yeah.
somehow
we're
seeing
celebrating Disney doing the bare
somehow
minimum.
seeing 2 people the same sex kiss
Good
immediately
job.
turn-
You acknowledge that they exist.
Yeah,
Tyler, did you know if you watch a gay couple at all on screen, you,
become
will
gay.
become gay?
and your kids are gay.
I-
And their kids are gay.
Why do you think I love the cock now? Jesus. Well, what?
Anyway,
I can't get enough of
He
it.
has a solution to shut up all the parents that are upset about it.
Okay.
And he legitimately thinks
think
it's a
this
good
is
idea,
it? Okay.
but doesn't get the irony of what he's suggesting.
I have a solution for this. I have a solution. What Disney needs to do, Disney needs to go full gay on a completely spin-off
It's not where you think it's
brand,
going.
And they could call it Disney Sparkle.
You told me about this.
And Disney Sparkle is specifically gay storytelling.
What does that even mean?
Disney's got to go full gay. Just do it. Full gay. You can go even more gay
DeSantis would
than
love
we've
that.
seen so far. So rather than
Yeah, they'd be out of
shoehorning
Florida.
in and queer baiting and throwing gay characters into more broad mainstream shows and TV and
Well, that-
movies,
It's a different term.
consider a complete offshoot brand of gay content where it is just fully, you know what you're getting. Because I kind of feel sometimes
Do
when I
gay
go to
people
see
only, like,
something Disney,
Exist in like.
I
dark
ordered a
corners and alleys?
cheeseburger and somebody delivered spaghetti to the table.
That's not.
It's
how
a
that
bait
works.
and switch. And I think
They
audiences
don't know
are
what that
tired of
means.
it.
Okay, so Chris Gore, this is the problem with Chris Gore. He gets a lot of attention and looks from studios because he's been in the business for a long fucking time. He started Film Thread as a magazine way back in the day. It's been going on since. He thinks that this is a good idea to segregate a group of people's content.
Also, is he suggesting that Disney has a separate channel for just like basically the gay category page on Pornhub? I mean, what do they mean gay?
Yeah. What does that mean? What do they mean gay story? What do they mean gay story?
So like if I have a story where a man and his husband are holding hands, is that too gay? Does that have to go on Sparkle? But wait a second. If I have a movie where two girls like bound by the Wachowski brothers, where they're like naked and
Wachowski
doing
sisters.
They are rubbing.
Your dad named
they're sisters. You're right, but they're going to town. Would that be on?
Get woke.
Would that be on Disney Sparkle?
Yeah, probably.
Huh?
Yeah, but the funny is that like, what does he mean?
Does
gay
it have to be
storytelling?
graphic? Does it have to be just two dudes holding hands?
The thing that drives me nuts is like,
I love that there should be a Disney. I think somebody should take it though and like run with it for the gay community. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, Disney
like own it.
and Disney Sparkle.
that's a good name for something, though.
Right?
I don't know what, but
Right, not that. Yeah,
No,
yeah. It's
not
a
that.
right. That's what I said when he told me about
I give
it.
him props for not going rainbow. I really do.
True.
You were
Yeah.
gonna say something. Go
Sorry.
Miss.
it's like sometimes like these right wing people like act like people in like the LGBTQ like IA plus community just like exist in secret or in lore. Like
They're not real. Damn it.
There's no way
It's
that
like a
gay
unicorn.
people have existed as long as the straight people. Like no,
They're
It's
not
just-
common.
It's a new concept.
it's like a
Why is it-
leprechaun.
Yeah.
Like
It's just like there's always been trans people throughout
And
history.
Why
like,
is it that everybody who's super anti-gay, you can just hear right behind the words like, "I really want to be gay," a little bit.
a little bit?
Little bit?
Some of them, yeah.
Some of them. I
Not
don't,
all of them.
I don't
No,
necessarily
not all
buy
of them.
that
And I
stereotype.
definitely do not want to like say that everybody who's homophobic is secretly gay because
Yeah.
that's harmful
No,
towards
There's just-
real.
There's bad people.
But
I
you know
understand.
there's an element of that in some of these
He-
situations.
here's the biggest problem.
bit
It's like
of-
a cognitive bias.
Little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's the biggest problem with Chris Gore too.
Mm.
Chris Gore is effective because Chris Gore also has that preconceived stuff of a lot of people saw him in one
He
place,
has weight
or
to his name.
and he's good at masking himself a little bit better.
Right.
This not so much.
No.
But he does come at a place that sounds good intention because he does say when he says queer baiting, what he means by that is the random lesbian couple at the end of Black Panther, things
yeah.
like that. That's fair. That
Or
is a
they
fair.
slip it in or-
Yes,
Yeah.
that is a fair criticism. But then to take that and then flip it into a segregation angle of separating their content completely because it's gay, it's like, how do you not see
What you're doing.
the irony in that?
Yeah.
And this is a three-parter technically. There's another thing. I think it was Tuesday or Wednesday. He tweeted all the dudes running at the screen in Endgame. He says, "Make Marvel male again."
Oh, it's God.
Oh, you haven't heard about the MCU?
Oh yeah, because he hangs out with Gary MCU neurotic. And that's the thing. He says that, and then a bunch of people backlash on him. He goes, "Oh, my bad. I just thought everybody had the same sense of humor I did." Was it a joke, or did you just
No,
say it was a
yeah.
joke because you got in
'Cause
trouble
you
for
got
people
caught,
mad at
yeah.
you?
And it works for you to be
So he doubles down on Disney Sparkle.
What? God.
You got to put it under a separate label because as a parent, if my kids are single, they're in their sort of single digit age, and I'm not ready to have uncomfortable conversations with kids.
You're making it uncomfortable. The kid
Right.
doesn't realize they're gay. Like the couple is
Or
gay.
that there's
You
any-
made them know it was gay.
Yeah, yeah.
Kids
that
all know,
age.
yeah.
I kind of want to wait until they're ready. Probably when they're older,
We
or
also
if they're
act
having
like
struggles of their
being
own,
in
or maybe they have a
That
friend at
community
school.
is
And
like a bad thing.
I'll have that conversation.
They're all groomers.
But I, as the parent, make that choice. Not some corporation, not some childless activist artist at a company should not be making those choices for me, for my kids.
Can I?
Stop. You can
It's almost-
make
it's almost
whether
over.
it's a television show or an animated project or a live action movie, the Disney Sparkle brand could lean into more authentic LGBTQ stories.
Oh yeah, let's
Authentic.
turn
You
it
see that?
around.
You
Fuck.
see
You
that?
see that brand, it's your choice as a parent whether to see it. And my guess is those movies will be better movies and better TV shows.
He does try to sell it under
Yeah,
like
see,
a weird...
Can I-
he's a little bit better than these other guys.
I
Like
got
he
something,
knows
yeah.
how to spin it. Yeah, go ahead.
Hey, I'm childless. Do you think I ever want your fucking kids watching my shit, asshole? I ain't making shit for your kids, all right? I ain't making shit for no kids, all right? Shit.
Shit, got him.
Some childless wants to make content for nobody wants to make content for your fucking mouth breather.
Jesus, dude.
Sorry.
Calm it down.
Well, God damn it. So I'm childless. Does that mean I'm what? That pisses me off. It does.
Well,
I've never made anything for
as
children.
a parent,
sure.
As a parent myself, when that happens, when that inevitably does happen, I'm just going to tell them those two people are in love.
Yeah.
And if they further question me on it, I'll be like, sometimes a man loves a man, and a woman loves a woman. It's
normal.
I know
it's
where that's.
not
I know what that message
weird.
says. Tell Tyler to shut
And that's the not so secret agenda.
Yeah.
We keep talking about Disney. Disney keeps saying they want to put trans kids and characters and gay characters. I'm like, why? Why does it matter? What? You are a man in your 30s and 40s complaining about this, dude. Think about where you are in your life.
Right.
You have to throw a fit.
Or
about
that you have,
gay
or that you have the
representation.
time to sit and think
Or
about
that you
this,
think
because you don't have really any problems.
You said it in the clip. What is so bad about gay people? What is so bad about gay people that you are afraid to have a single-digit number? That's what you said. Single-digit number kid watching.
Why are we acting
a
like
gay
it's
couple?
strange or abnormal?
Because they think that gay is inherently sexual, and it's not.
No.
Straight isn't inherently sexual. Like stop that. And because of that,
So
they
making
think that
sure
every
you're-
my phone keeps going off.
Making sure
I
your
threw it on
boy
the-
plays with guns and your girl plays with Barbies
if anything-
is the same thing, though.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if anything,
You're grooming them to be straight.
I was going to say that
Or whatever.
the right or whatever you want to call them now is more hypersexualizing and more focused on the sexualization of
That's-
children than anyone.
That's the irony of all of this, is that they're in their efforts to quote unquote stop people they are doing the exact same thing that they're railing against.
All right, here we go. Last two.
Okay.
We done number 1. We done number 3. And to put a bow in it, I will say he was talking about some family had their kids, like the dad was trying to get their kids to look away from the gay couple. And I'm like, you failed as a parent. If you're trying to get your kids not to see, and again, they think the inherent sexuality of the gayness to them. And like I said last
they act
time,
like Disney's like putting porn on Disney
when,
Plus.
when we have talked
are
about
they
Strange
talking
World,
about
when we have talked about Strange World, I said, are they fucking on screen?
No.
No, they're not, because it's a kids movie.
yes.
They're just existing, and you people hate that, and you
Your
want to.
phone
I'm gonna
sucks.
break this fucking
Why
phone.
don't you just like turn it on silent?
No. All right, last two. Number 1. Number.
That sounds.
Did you hit your mouth on the microphone?
Oh, I hit my tooth.
I'm making
on
an
the
executive
microphone.
decision.
Oh.
Let's talk about Melanie Mack. She's
And
been
then
on
we're
the
gonna-
show
and then
before.
we're gonna go get Fongs.
We got one more clip, and
I
then
know.
we're
Well,
going.
yeah.
I want some goddamn farms.
I'm
Jake.
hungry, son of a bitch. So I love Dead Space. I've talked about Dead Space on this show before. The remake is coming out.
I don't know what it is.
People should get it. It's a horror game.
Oh, Dead Space. Yeah,
Yeah. There's an uproar, and by uproar I mean just Melanie Mack is upset about this. They redid the character model for your girlfriend in the game, and they made her look more like the voice actress. And the voice actress is like a little bit older.
Okay.
Melanie Mack's upset about that because we're making women ugly in our video games.
Wow.
It is a 12-minute clip.
Solidarity, sister.
12-minute video.
Sounds like a pick me.
I cut it up because most of it is her like making fun of the looks of this character and another character
need to
that
go-
she said was desexualized, and I'm like, because they look more like the. And
so
I'm like,
do we need to go back to like the like?
big titty anime women, dude.
Yeah.
That's what we want in our games. So anyway, this is
Give me my Chun-Li's already.
this one's pretty short.
I mean, that would at least covered half of her.
So this is from the beginning of the video and the end of the video, because really the meat of this sandwich in between is literally her just making fun of it and how it looks and making fun of this
Well,
look.
that's like Tucker Carlson having a meltdown because they took the heels away from the green M&Ms.
Yes, I can't fuck these M&Ms. What is this? Anyway, here's Melanie Mack being upset.
So the Dead Space remake is dropping 2023. Dead Space fans should
she's
be
another one I had to
excited,
chop up.
you know, but silly Optimus, not this day and age. You cannot be excited for any sort of remake, or even remasters are very scary as fans of any given property, because as they like to do, AAA studios especially, they like to take our favorite things, transform them beyond recognition, probably throw in a woke message in there, and say, here you
Gotta
go.
love the woke message.
They
part.
do it on purpose. They did not. They purposefully. The fact that they've done that with both of the women that we see here, both of the women specifically that we see here, they've done that to our girl Kendra here too.
This
so
is the other character that they
anyway,
desexualized.
This is
in
where we're
quotes.
at with video games. This is where
That
we've
was awkward.
been. It's annoying. I don't know when we're gonna get things back to normal with this.
Normal.
Or women are an object.
Yeah. Look, I think she look. I like the perspective of her saying, like, I want to see sexy women in, like, as a woman, I would like to see attractive women in it, too. Like, I understand where she's coming from on a little bit of that aspect. But also, I got something to tell you. That original version of Dead Space still exists. You can still play it. You can, even if you have an Xbox One, you can play it on your Xbox One right now. You don't need to play the remake.
I think they're like, obviously, as a...
Oh, my God.
Just put your phone on silent. It's not hard.
I got a lot going on today.
Anyway, I think there's a difference. Like, obviously, I don't have a real opinion on this matter.
I need my phone to do the sound
as like
bites.
a straight male, I don't really get to have an opinion on it. But
yeah, I know. And well,
but I mean, I think there's a difference between like women and like being sexy and sexual, like as like a women empowerment, and also like
she makes fun of her age in that too,
right? But like then there's also another side of that where like women are characters in like comic books and things like that. Like they're not supposed to be made for the male gaze. So it's like there's two sides to every coin. Like
they are and they aren't.
Well, but
everything is made for your gaze,
right? But
I mean?
like when I talk about like the stereotypical like quote unquote male gaze, like the characters shouldn't be made like that, and that's why we have like the big titty anime girls. Like,
but you can make that argument that the men are overly sexualized in Marvel movies because there's always a shirtless scene.
Well, yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, you know, I understand what you're saying. The story itself isn't just about the gaze, but the gaze is to get you in and be like, oh.
I mean, Chris Hemsworth's hot.
I know it sounds like I'm saying gaze, but gaze. I mean, all this gay talk.
I mean, they let Chris Pratt gain weight.
You know, that's what I mean. He's wearing a bigger coat because at a certain point, every actor, if they do more than one or more than two superhero movies, they're like
even without wearing a big coat, like he gained weight back, which is fine. Like not a big
Did you
deal.
see that Zachary Levi wore a muscle suit in the first Shazam movie? He's like, I'm not. He said, he's like, I'm not gonna get that big. And I'm like, why not? And Homelander.
Yeah, I mean,
he made fun of
Homelander does,
or the dude who plays Homelander. He made fun of Jensen Ackles because Jensen Ackles got cut for The Boys, and he comes in and he just goes, "Why don't you just haven't put muscles in the suit?"
Yeah,
and everybody laughed at him because it's like that's what everybody else was doing. Like, I don't blame him. Why would you?
No, it's a lot of work.
He's in shape. It's not like that dude isn't like, you know, he's a skinny dude. It's not like he's overweight or anything. I just thought it's funny how even him, who has the means to do it, he's like, no, I ain't gonna fucking do that.
But then you have people like Chris,
because he's always in a suit.
But then you also have like people who are like Chris Pratt or he plays in the Eternals. He's a comedian. I can't think of his name. He has the finger guns. Why can I not think?
Kunal Nanjiani.
Kumail
Nanjiani. He was not like.
I want to see his Chippendale show.
He was like a little like pudgy or not pudgy, I shouldn't say, but like a little
not
like,
him,
quote unquote like out of shape. But like he got jacked for the for the Eternals.
Oh yeah.
He went from being a pudgy comedian to jacked.
No, people actually were saying
kind of
like,
razzing on him.
They were they were like, oh, that's not real, and he's like, no, that's all.
No,
me.
he looked good.
Anyway, to wrap up the Melanie Mack clip. Again, it just makes me laugh because she's attacking it because she says they make the characters ugly when they base the character on the voice actor. So you think that voice actor is ugly, and I've seen the voice actor. She ain't ugly. It's just and it's all subjective. But she kept making fun of her age constantly. She's like, in the game, she's supposed to be 39, and I'm 36, and I'm gonna look like that. What she's living a hard life. Like, first of all, it's a fictional character, but then you're making fun of the likeness of an actual human being. And is Melanie Mack attractive? Yes. And that's the only reason she has a following is because she's attractive. Does it sound sexist? That's up to her to decide because she hates it if I would make that reference, right? But she does. She is boring. I had to dig to make this because I was like, you know what? Let's do Melanie Mack. We haven't done her in a while. I found that clip. I had to dig to make this interesting. It's the same with that Star Wars girl. She's fucking boring.
Oh, yeah.
Because they just recycle the same woke bad shit. Woke bad. Woke bad.
The only reason they get... I mean,
we're finishing strong.
Yeah.
Critical Drinker. Not been featured on this show yet, but it is today. Critical Drinker is one of the most annoying. Because he's got an accent and it's slurred because he's the critical drink. I'm not even doing a good version of it. Anyway, he is pompous and acts like he has some sort of authority on this stuff, and it's the same shit. Women bad, which is what we get with his critique of the Indiana Jones 5 trailer.
The other big source of concern here is Helena, played by Phoebe Waller-Bridge. I mean, I can't exactly say I was surprised by this character's inclusion when this is a project directly overseen by Kathleen Kennedy, whose one and only creative impulse with anything she's involved in seems to be, hey, what if we replace this character with a woman? Great idea, Kathy. Forced and unnecessary. We already established a younger character for Indy
Shia
to pass the
LaBeouf.
hat onto with his previous movie.
That'll work out
yeah,
great.
Shia LaBeouf might not have been the best choice to play him, but given how much time has passed since the last film, you could easily have recast the
Tyler's getting ready to
character
take
and nobody would have cared too
hammer.
much. But I guess the idea of a positive father-son relationship as the emotional heart of a modern film just isn't right for modern audiences. So naturally, Mutt had to be replaced with a more diverse alternative. Why? Because it simply wouldn't be a modern film unless an established and beloved male lead was killed off and replaced by a shallow, vapid, flawless, and unlikable female
haven't seen the
character
movie
that
yet.
you're expected to instantly like and project all that heart.
Jesus.
You haven't even seen the
You
movie.
guys ever seen Idiocracy? You remember when they had the news teams and
The message.
every once in a while they would go like, you know, like the people in the news when they were talking about the dildozer and all that stuff and Beef Supreme coming out of retirement and stuff, and they're like, oh, and history prepares to knock not sure on its ass, and like they magnified like certain words when they
Yeah.
were talking.
Yeah. Well, that's
exactly like that.
he does that. He does
What a
He does the
fucking
modern
shithead.
audiences thing. And
Oh
goes,
my God.
The message. It's like, I go, what is the message, drinker? What is the message? Because you say the message a lot, but you never tell me what the message is. It's just like,
I mean, that's the point. You don't answer the questions.
he has not seen this movie, but based on the trailer, he's saying this woman is vapid and undeserving.
He also
and
said flawless.
flawless. And
It's like Todd from She-Hulk.
it's just so, it is. That's what Todd was. Yeah.
You thought you could get Megan Thee Stallion? Well,
And it goes back to everything of like, put definitions on it. What is woke? What is the message? What is modern?
if
by
they put
doing
definitions on it, they wouldn't
Why
be as
are you-
popular.
why are
They can't apply it to
Why
everything.
are you so insulted that Indiana Jones has a female sidekick? Why does that bother you?
Marion Ravenwood, fuck faces.
Exactly.
The first fucking movie, female sidekick.
All right, we're wrapping it up.
What?
We're wrapping it up.
I
Today.
know, man. That's just not vintage Indiana Jones.
Sorry, there's an ad on my soundboard because it's a piece of shit.
Yeah, your soundboard sucks
just
ass.
for the ad-free version, dude.
Right? What the fuck?
Why don't you pay for my balls? How's that? Modern audiences. All right, let's go to the.
Are we doing? Should we just call it? How long have we been going on?
No, we're gonna wrap it up.
We can do Long Buck next week.
No, we do Longbach every day.
Okay, so yeah, so we're wrapping it up.
I'm trying to. Yeah, hold on. All right, go, man. It's time to wrap things up. Get off your fucking phone, would you? Jesus Christ. Every time I look up, that fucker's on his phone. Thanks for joining us today.
That's our inside joke with Gomez.
Yeah.
It's been
He
great.
did. Every time
It's
he's like,
funny
oh,
'cause
is he
it's
gonna guest
true.
on the podcast? You better get off his fucking phone, is what he texted me. So.
No, we were talking about it the other day.
We're not talking about it. He brought it up unprompted. I don't know where
Well,
he
that's
brought-
because that was the joke from last time when he was here.
My wife texted me. We gotta go get pizza.
We gotta go
Okay.
get pizza.
We
Okay.
gotta get pizza.
Okay.
Thanks so
Really
much.
always
Hey,
again.
thanks for listening to the show. Once again,
Woo!
check out Tyler's album January. Arigato.
We'll talk more about
The
it when he
Amazing
gets
T-Bird.
closer.
Go to tpublic.com/The Amazing Bird. Get some merch. Send me.
Send me an angel.
Some links to good music. I don't know.
You are the worst. Let's say, but definitely thanks for Andrew for coming
You
by.
stepped on my
Gomez.
board.
What? I thought are we not telling Gomez thanks for stopping by?
Oh, fuck him.
Yeah, that's fine. I don't care.
No, thanks for stop visiting me this weekend. And
I
doing
actually
the
am
pod with
hoping
me.
nobody realizes that I was on this show.
Luke's supposed to be here next week. We can get Luke on the pod. Have 2 guests back-to-back weeks, 2 returning guests.
Sweet.
Think about that.
I love just blowing up the the format of the show.
Nice.
Off panel, off topic with Jake and Tyler.